Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And honestly, guys, me and Ashton were just having a conversation. It may be more apropos at this point to say that NXT, if not WWE, just all together, is Kevin Owens. He is the epicenter of, they say WWE Universe, so I guess I'll just say that. He is the epicenter of the WWE Universe right now. Ashton said it best. The guy is juggling 3 feuds. And
4 if you include Regal. 5 if you include Zayn.
5 if you include Zayn, because, neither one of us think that that's over. This guy is doing everything, and he's doing it with a poise and a confidence like the ball hasn't been dropped yet. And it's absolutely unbelievable. And as far as the episode itself is concerned, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We got some entertaining matches, some interesting storyline progression on certain ways. I loved how they handled Hideo Itami's little fiasco recently with his injury. So I feel like, this was NXT that was on point tonight, this episode. Because I know lately it's just been like, oh, their TV product's good, but the live specials, that's the bread and butter. And, well, that's still certainly true. This is a very strong episode of television tonight for NXT. What did you think, Ashton?
Oh, absolutely. Scale of 1 to 10, even if I'm grading this on a curve relative to other NXT shows, this is still a solid 8, 8.5.
Yeah, that's the exact score I was thinking, dude. So way to read my mind. With that said, so we don't get all, off track and everything else, let's just get right into our first segment, Heat of the Night. Not a single Heat of the Night tonight. I'm just loving everything NXT is doing right now, what they're building towards. Not even a nitpick. What about you, Ashton?
I do have a Heat of the Night.
Interesting. Let's have at it.
Mojo Rawley is back, and literally nothing about him has changed, except for the fact that now people are acknowledging that he's annoying.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of something that I already tried to suppress when it was on my screen.
I know. I'm sorry, but I felt
okay.
like something had to be said.
It's okay. That's why we're here, right? That's why TWitWoW exists.
Yeah, this is developmental, which means, hey, if you want to repackage him, you go for it. But to take him off television for basically no reason and then bring him back without any changes, come on, guys, really?
Wasn't he originally even supposed to get revenge on Tyler Breeze or something? Because that's
I don't know. I don't even know, John. I just don't.
And I hate to take a pot shot at NXT, when I just said what a great episode they had, which they did. But again, this is the difference between any WWE product and what Lucha Underground is doing.
I was just going to say that, too. Lucha Underground takes no more days away for a month, and when he comes back, he's a freaking murderer.
And they gave an explanation, though, no loose ends, right?
Yep.
Whereas with NXT, both, oddly enough, revolving around Tyler Breeze, first you had the thing with
Marcus Louis,
no follow-up, and then you had Mojo.
That should be a new tag team, Marcus Louis and Mojo Rawley, the annoying guys that really hate Tyler Breeze.
Exactly, and then Mojo Rawley, who blamed his injury on Tyler Breeze, said, and all angry and serious, I stay hyped, and I'm gonna get back at Tyler Breeze, and then you pal around with Zack Ryder after you're all healed. What? And I'm sorry, I hate to be that guy, but when you start a story, even if it's a weak finish, I'd rather you finish than insult my intelligence and just drop it like it never happened.
Yeah.
And they've
That's
done
a really bad habit of the main roster. I really don't want to see that start happening on NXT more frequently.
No, dude, no, I won't tolerate it. I'll keep calling him out for it. Maybe not as heats of the night or whatever or anything, but when we have a chance to talk about it in an appropriate place, I will bring it up because I'm telling you, I said in our Lucha Underground review, which, I hope everybody checks that out, but, we're spoiled right now with a product like that because there are no loose ends.
They're ruining us, dude. They are ruining us.
They're ruining us because they're making me more critical, even towards NXT, which I love to death, and I still do.
They're ruining us in the best possible way.
Yeah, because they're showing us that all the wrongs that I think we grew accustomed to with pro wrestling over the years
aren't okay.
They have to be that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's not okay. And it's not enough that I have to deal with this douchemonger now back on my television. But can I even trust you to be consistent? And the even scarier question is, do I even want you to be? Because I still don't care about Mojo Rawley. So, I don't know. I think it's just the principle of the thing. Finish what you start. If you're going to make Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley a tag team, Make them a tag team and commit to it. Do something. I'm actually kind of happy for Zack Ryder that he may get to do something. I'm just sad that it's at the expense of teaming with Mojo Rawley, because I feel like even with as annoying as Zack Ryder is, and you know I've never shown
he
Zack
deserves better.
He does, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but I am saying that. He does deserve better. Even if you would want him, because here's my thing, to have kind of a serious conversation here, because I'm not looking to take pot shots at Ryder. Even if you'd want to maybe, I don't know, give him a heel turn, kind of up his ante a little bit with his gimmick. Like, nothing has changed about this guy for I don't know how many years. And now, instead of a change, you're almost kind of like devolving him, like watering him down by pairing him with this douche nozzle. I don't know. I just feel like I don't really like it. I'm glad you brought it up because, again, I legitimately suppressed it. I probably wouldn't have even thought to mention it in the formal review. So I'm glad you brought it up. And I still don't care about Mojo Rawley because nothing's changed. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Exactly. And that's exactly why it's my heat of the night.
So, I mean, if you have nothing else you want to say, I mean, no nitpicks or anything? You want to just get on
No nitpicks or anything. That's the main thing that I really just kind of wanted to, elephant in the room, let's address it and get it out of the way and move on.
All right.
Because there was a lot of stuff on this show that I absolutely loved. And it's not, even though a lot of it is Kevin Owens related, it's not all Kevin Owens related. So it's not like this was just the Kevin Owens show. There was some great stuff other than that, too.
Yeah, it's just 99.75% Kevin Owens. But,
yeah, I mean, maybe like 75% Kevin Owens.
Yeah, because there really was other great stuff here, too, in all sincerity. But Kevin Owens, though, is just on another level right now.
He's like, let me just kind of, because we didn't actually say this while we were recording, before we recorded after NXT was over, during that, 5-minute time period, maybe not even that long, the thing that kind of prompted us to want to record, I said that Kevin Owens is, and I was actually what I specifically said was that I was getting ready to say that Kevin Owens is the kind of guy that you could build an entire promotion around. And then I recognized that they are actually doing that with NXT right now.
And
they are building this brand around Kevin Owens, and he's carrying it on his back and being like, this isn't even heavy. What's wrong with you guys?
That was brilliantly stated, because I was even getting ready to say that he's doing a masterful job just seems so inadequate.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's just stop talking about it in that vein and get to a more appropriate place. So with that, let's roll right on through to our NXT review. And now we can continue this conversation because
Kevin Owens comes out to Sami Zayn's freaking music.
all the way through. It wasn't even like that typical heel stuff where it starts, he comes out, he laughs, and it changes to his actual music. No, He makes the entrance in a John Cena t-shirt holding the NXT Championship. The imagery, though.
Yeah, he's so good. Next thing you know, he's going to come out with all that getup, but also a white towel around his neck to insult Joe, too.
I know. And it's so... it's such a basic thing to do, but Kevin Owens pulls it off so well.
Yeah.
And now here, Ashton, is where for the first time I'm going to actively kind of hopefully rely on your notes or your memory a little bit, because Kevin Owens said so many great lines here. I want to remember.
Oh, God, I did not write everything down. The main stuff that I remember, I mean, first of all, he literally cut a promo on 4 different people. 5 when Crowe came out. He cut a promo. Oh, that's what it was. When he first started, the crowd was chanting, John Cena sucks! And he said, it's funny that you sing that about John Cena, but I've never heard you say Sami Zayn sucks, but he does too. So he actually found a way to turn it around. Something John Cena, the ultimate consummate professional, hasn't found a way to turn those chants around. And Kevin Owens does it the first time someone does it while he's in the ring with a mic.
I don't want to seem like, and I know it's probably inevitable anyway, I don't want to seem like a Kevin Owens suck-up or an NXT suck-up, but after seeing that, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do mean it, John Cena should be grateful to Kevin Owens. Because I feel like with every heel that John Cena's feuded with, he's never really gotten that pure babyface reaction. Kevin Owens might just be the guy to do it. Now, I know, honestly, I do think their little stint is going to end at Chamber. I'd be pleasantly surprised to be wrong. But just the idea that Full Sail, which seems to be a very impassioned crowd of wrestling fans, and, anytime somebody nails a powerbomb, better than Batista, Spear, better than Reigns, so they hate those types of guys. So you don't think that somebody's going to be able to flip the script when it comes to John freaking Cena, and Kevin Owens does it.
Yep.
Just think about that, people. That's insanity to me.
How many times did I keep upping the ante? First I was like, he's such a good heel. And then it was, oh my God, he's an amazing heel. And then it was best heel ever. And then heel of the year. And then heel of the century. I kept on saying more and more because he's so good and big. The ultimate douchemonger.
I love it. I mean, you know that I gravitate towards douchebags. It's like Kevin Owens is the final form of every douche I ever admired. Like, that's just
Kevin
the
Owens
final
is so much of a douche that even you dislike him.
I know, like, there is discomfort, although I made the admission to you tonight that it's really kind of disturbing of my own character, that I'm looking forward to him powerbombing people on ring aprons. But that's
It's
neither
like,
here nor there.
I don't know if you're familiar at all, but when somebody's playing a game of pool, the way that they determine who gets to break the rack is both people shoot a ball from one side of the table to the other, and whoever gets it closest to the opposite side of the table without touching it wins. If you touch it, you automatically lose. So basically, Kevin Owens said, well, screw that. I'm going to hit it so hard that it's going to bounce off the other side, come back to this side, bounce off of that, and then bounce back over to the other side, and still manage to get it closer to the other side than the guy I'm going against. And he nailed it. And the pool table in this hypothetical scenario is a heel meter. And Kevin Owens just broke it twice.
Oh my God. He said, and then he talked about how, I heard one person at Unstoppable say that I was a bad person, and then he gives all the reasons why he's a good person, and one of the reasons was that because of me, we'll never have to hear that annoying, just crappy theme song of Sami Zayn's, and then Ashton goes, oh, I like his theme song, I love it so much.
His theme song's so good, though. It's ska, man. How can anyone hate ska?
But that's how you know Kevin Owens is pure, unadulterated evil. Like, there's no ingredient other than evil. Like,
he
that's
even
just
has
it.
the word evil tattooed on his left arm.
Exactly. Like, so bad. And then William Regal comes out, and I just love that William Regal is just this esteemed authority figure. Doesn't have this over-the-top personality. Like, he's just straight-up business.
Yep.
And he's talking to Kevin Owens and saying, like he's about to address him and like what he's done these past 4 months. And Kevin Owens says, hey, before you even talk about the issue of me headbutting you, that's only because you put your hands on me. And then Regal just says calmly, and that's the only reason you still work here. And then he goes on about like all the people he took out. And here's the interesting thing. He mentions Hideo Itami, and Owens almost gets like a look of concern in his face, and he stops Regal and says, whoa. I take credit for all the others, but I had nothing to do with Hideo Itami. So immediately Kevin Owens is denying culpability for what happened to Hideo. And I find that very interesting because, I mean, here's the thing, dude. Kevin Owens is looking so unbeatable right now that I don't know how long he's going to be NXT champion. I could, although it's so hard to tell, but I could conceive him being NXT champion, even if it wasn't his first run. Maybe he wins it back. I don't know when Hideo Itami comes back. And I don't know how they're going to do that, what the whole game plan is, but he is denying culpability now. Regal is skeptical, as am I, because he just says, oh, of course you didn't. But then he goes on, like, about, the tear that he's been on. And, Owen said, hey, with Sami, I warned him what was going to happen. Yep. So it's his fault, and really it's your fault, too, because you made the match. And, Owens is just saying, like, I'm just doing what I got to do, for my family and to keep the championship. Then Solomon Crowe comes out, and I'm like, oh, well, it's nice that the victim actually shows up, makes it easier for Kevin Owens. And then he just says, I couldn't listen to the crap anymore coming out of your mouth, so I had to come out here. You saying that you're a good person, well, I just think you're a piece of crap. And
I really wish he would have said garbage there.
Yeah, and you even said that to me in conversation.
It just seems so much more effective. Like, crap sounds like something that a 12-year-old says who thinks he's not allowed to swear.
Yeah. And then it should be noted, too, like one line that I really love that I wish I would have mentioned earlier, but I'm going to mention here and bring it back full circle. Kevin Owens said that he doesn't need to host like an open challenge for his NXT championship because he's not insecure about himself. And he doesn't need to prove himself. Like, I love that. Yeah. But then he kind of changes his tune. Even though it is non-title, he says, well, Crowe, you just earned yourself an opportunity. And then he looks at Regal. He says, how about it, Regal? And then Regal says, well, you're making my job easier for me. The main event tonight, Solomon Crowe versus Kevin Owens. And then Kevin Owens is like, well, let's see. You told me how many people I put on a stretcher? Let's see. And then, like, he does a count off. And then Sami Zayn gets to
it was Neville, Riley, Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn. And then he said, well, it looks like this guy's next.
Yeah. And then he just walks out like a boss. Oh, man.
So good.
Anything else you want to say about this before we move on?
Just that it's unfair how good Kevin Owens is sometimes.
It really is. Like, I think you even said it, dude, and I just want to repeat it because I thought it was such a good line. I think you said to me at the end of that segment that Kevin Owens is just too good for NXT right now. And NXT, like,
yeah, and I feel so bad for saying that because, like, I'm kind of on that bandwagon where, like, oh, I can't believe he got demoted to the main roster, and then like Zack Ryder's and I was like, oh, it looks like Zack Ryder got promoted to NXT. Like, I play along with that. That's cute and all, but Kevin Owens needs to be in front of a 4 million person audience every freaking week, like Raw.
He does. And you know what? Here's the thing. The moment Kevin Owens officially makes that transition, no ambiguity about it, I love Rollins to death, but being straight up, he doesn't even compare.
No,
like,
he really, I mean, Rollins is likable by comparison.
He is. He really is, because here's the thing about Rollins, whether he means to or not, I do think there's a comical element to Rollins, even if it's just that laugh, and you can't help but laugh with him.
And you know what, though? We're having this discussion. Let's not forget, on Raw, Seth Rollins had a little bit of a jealous moment.
Oh, yeah, because you know the authority's looking at that and saying that could be our guy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, guys, and here's the thing, and I don't want to commit hyperbole here, this is just what I'm seeing Kevin Owens. Ashton, the scariest part is, if you want my honest assessment, you thought his rise to the NXT Championship was meteoric. I don't think it would take long at him at all to win that WWE World Heavyweight title.
Oh, which is just insane to think about. But you're right. You're totally right. Completely 100% right.
And that should make everybody shit a brick to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I the crazy thing is, like, over the course of the next 6 months, we could see Kevin Owens become the new guy, like the guy for the authority, and Seth Rollins turn face. And, like, oh my God.
You know the last guy to ever rise that meteoric? Brock freaking Lesnar. I mean, enough said.
I was going to say Seth Rollins, but I guess...
Well, I mean, but Seth Rollins, though, it still took all this time. Brock Lesnar came in, dude. It wasn't any time at all before he was in the WWE Undisputed Championship picture. And then he beats The Rock. Like, I'm telling you, there are parallels, I think, between Owens and Lesnar, and they're just going to become more and more distinct. Dude, I'm already seeing memes for WrestleMania 32 or 33, Owens and Lesnar, just having a stare down photoshopped. People want this thing to happen, and it's because they see the parallels. This guy is unbeatable right now. Even if he doesn't get the formal win by 3 count, you think Kevin Owens gives a shit? If he ends your livelihood, that's a successful day at the office, and that's what makes him so damn good.
Yep.
Like, Triple H said, oh, Seth, I see so much of myself in you. Really? Because in a way, yeah, I definitely agree, but what Triple H loved to do more than anything was take a sledgehammer to somebody's back. With Kevin Owens, he doesn't need a weapon. He is the weapon. Good freaking Lord. Anyway, we'll talk more about Kevin Owens later, but we could devote a whole episode, I think, to Kevin Owens' discussion. That's terrifying to think about. But what came after this, bro?
Let's see. After this whole huge opening segment, we got an update on Hideo Itami. We saw the video where he got injured again at the time when, you know, the interviewer, the cameraman, was back there with Enzo and Cass, and he was talking to them, and it was all cool. And then someone was like, "Come here, help, help!" And they went over, and it was Hideo, and Kevin Owens walked by, and he's like, huh, "It's just a shame," and he just keeps going. But then we actually do get to see Hideo sitting on what you can only assume is a doctor's table. And he kind of explains what's going on. He says he's going to be out for a while, and he, you know, do you remember anything specific that he said here, John?
He said, when I come back, I won't be stopped. And I was kind of hoping he said, when I come back, there won't be any survivors. I don't know why. I just wanted him to
no, see, now I was kind of hoping he would specifically call out Owens.
Yeah. But he's just saying that he won't be stopped. So it was a pretty by-the-numbers face promo. But you know what? I hope they give us updates on Itami semi-regularly because, oh, look, obviously he's so over. I'm not saying that people would forget about him, but keep him fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, keep him at the forefront of people's minds, I think. Yeah. Unless you want to do, like, a big surprise and do something, like, huge. Then in which case, of course, dial it back. But if you're just thinking, oh, we're going to bring him back and start him in a program with Owens, then yeah, I like that they did that here, and I hope things like this are semi-regular. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Hideo coming back. He was really on the rise. I'm telling you, man, I had the feeling he was set to win that triple threat and go on to face Owens, but now they have kind of a built-in story where Owens can sort of be the one that took Hideo out, and then he comes back and wants to go after Owens again. And I don't even know. That's the crazy thing, though, is Owens might not even be on NXT by the time Hideo's back.
Dude, he's feuding with so many people. Like,
one of which is John Cena.
Dude, and here's the thing. I was talking about the Brock Lesnar parallels earlier, but the terrifying thing is Brock Lesnar didn't even feud with multiple people at once. Like, he never did that. Like, the most he ever juggled was towards the end of his run where he was feuding with both Eddie Guerrero and Goldberg at the same time, but that was it. Like,
yeah, and that ended in disaster.
Exactly, but Kevin Owens is like, really? Is that all you have? Who's next? And it's just going through.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I mean, this whole feud with Sami Zayn is fun, but I think I'm going to go up to the main roster and pick on John frickin' Cena.
Literally, the people that step up to Kevin Owens are nothing more than dirt that accumulates on his shoulder, and then he just brushes it off and moves on to the next thing.
Okay, so after this whole Hideo thing, we got the Zack Ryder interview. He's in NXT, and Mojo Rawley is back. And ew.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on.
Emma has new theme music.
Yes, she does. Oh, man.
And she had a match with Bayley, which she won.
By submission. But you know what the best part was? No Dana Brooke interference.
Dana Brooke
so worried.
Was it ringside, but she didn't actually play a part in the ending of the match.
I love that, though. So good. Because, I mean, obviously, I'll be honest, guys, as an Emma fan, I was so desperate for her to get a win, I probably would have swallowed the pill anyway. I'm just so glad I didn't have to. Yeah. This still does beg the question, though, because, look, I can get all marky about Emma, and I had that moment in our conversation, but I always like to look at it for what it is when we get here. Bayley, again, man, just when I think she's going to get on a little roll and maybe do something. Now she has this loss to Emma, and clearly she's not done with Emma yet. You know, like, it's going to make when she does finally get back to the championship picture, because Bayley will. How over she is undeniable when they take NXT on the road and they do live events places.
Yep.
There are times that Ashton will share Instagrams with me of when she makes her entrance, and it seems like she gets the biggest pop of anybody. At least it feels that way to me, because it's just huge. But, you know, then you get to the actual product, and she's not exactly on this roll. Now, I'm not saying every babyface to get on a roll needs to win every single match. I'm glad that Bayley kind of loses how she does. It's just, man, it's surprising to me that when I think she's going to get out of the gate and really do something, she loses. And this was submission, too. I mean, that...
you know what, though, dude? Emma really needed this win. She's been looking so weak lately. She needed something like this. And Definitely. It wasn't going to be Sasha, and it wasn't going to be Becky, and it was definitely not going to be friggin' Charlotte, so they just picked the next most legitimate female in line. That just happened to be the person that Emma's been feuding with.
Exactly. So you know what? I mean, as an Emma fan, obviously I'm cool with it. In the grand scheme of things, you know what? I'm still cool with it, because I do feel like Bayley is going to get hers in the end. And when I say in the end, that's quite a ways away, I think.
Oh, yeah, months.
Yeah, months.
If not the next live special, then probably the one after that.
And dude, here's the thing, not to keep branching off subject, because I feel like this is a very excitable episode of NXT TWitWoW, but...
It was a fun episode of NXT. Like, they don't compare to Lucha Underground from a storytelling aspect, but when you realize that this is a WWE subsidiary, it is an amazing product relative to other WWE products.
Absolutely. That was, wow, the way you articulate things sometimes. But that, completely agree. And what I was getting ready to say was, when I said excitable, I mean you and I, because it's been a great night of wrestling. And as you said, this is our 300th episode. So, you know,
it is! Cool. Episode 300 of TWitWoW.
Yeah. You know, Sasha Banks, I heard, hasn't been in the last, 2 tapings. So.
Oh, dude, I don't know about 2, but I know she wasn't on the first taping after Unstoppable, and there are a lot of rumors floating around that she might debut the night after Chamber.
So, you know, but what about that NXT Women's Championship, though? Because she never lost it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You don't have to. That's the thing. I don't think people don't realize this. Paige wasn't stripped of the women's title because she was on Raw. She was stripped of the women's title because she won the Divas title.
So you feel like Sasha can juggle being on the main roster and still actively defend?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The thing is, she only needs to show up at Full Sail 2 or 3 times every 3 months to do tapings and then a live special. Like, it's not like Raw where she's going to be constantly needed there, where she needs to show up and be there every week for a certain amount of time. No, it's just you show up, you do the 3 or 4 episodes worth of tapings, and then the next night you do another 3 or 4 episodes, and then you can go back on the road with Raw.
But now here's my question. If we are starting to see Sasha in that transition, because I think you and I felt like she was going to have a grasp on that belt for the long haul. Do you think her next big program for that NXT Women's Championship will be her last concerning that belt? And
No.
She'll drop it to whoever?
I think her next program is going to be with another one of the quote-unquote four horsewomen, either Bayley, Charlotte, or another thing with Becky. And then I think that the one after that is going to be with Dana Brooke, who will win the title and then go on to end up losing it to Bayley a long time down the road.
Oh, man, the idea of Dana Brooke with that championship. I really hope she improves. Like, I haven't given up on Dana Brooke
I know,
at
but
all.
you can't deny the fact that they're pushing her hard.
Oh, they are. Oh, and then that does scare me. I mean, and to continue that, to kind of bring it full circle, I mean, post-match, you know, Dana Brooke's kind of holding on to Bayley. You know, her and Emma are kind of putting the boots to her. Charlotte comes out. She gets very little offense before she gets taken down. And then Dana Brooke kind of, put Charlotte down with that forward Death Valley driver. I mean, we know it again in Lucha Underground from King Cuerno as the throw of the hunt.
Right.
So just visualize that maneuver. And, you know, like, she laid Charlotte out. And I think she's going to beat Charlotte clean when they have a one-on-one matchup. And, yeah, Dana Brooke is on a rocket to the moon. And again, I don't want to be an asshole. This isn't like John, oh, look at him, you know, being a jerk trying to get laughs. Ashton directed me to a women's roundtable with the four horsewomen of NXT. And I got goosebumps reading it. I got butterflies in my stomach because I love all four of these women. I was about to say girls, but that's insulting. All four of these women and the confidence they have and the conviction they have. And I don't want to single Dana Brooke out, but I'm really hoping she can get better. Because you hear these women talk about what they're building, and I almost feel like they're building this really amazing tower out of like Jenga blocks or Legos or whatever. And then Dana Brooke comes over and she knocks it all over. And I don't want her to be that person. I want her to get better. I want her to be a part of this. But they are pushing her so hard, and I feel like
I'll tell you what, dude, the most difficult part is already done. She has amazing theme music.
She does. And you know what's funny? You and I were even saying to each other, because again, you guys know, me and him actively talk to each other while we watch the shows, that her theme music is the best thing she has right now.
You know what, though, John? Let's take a moment and take a step back. We did not like Charlotte when she first showed up either.
That's true.
We thought that she was another one of those people who was garbage in the ring and only got her spot because of nepotism, but she has worked her ass off and she has gotten so much better, and now she is a part of the four horsewomen. I would argue that she is the weakest part, but she is still on that level.
Definitely, and I just hope, and I could only assume, because if Triple H, because they really spoke highly of Triple H in that roundtable, all the four horsewomen, and they said he's so hands-on with them and interactive, and he gives the advice and everything. I hope he's working diligently when he can with those like Dana Brooke, because, you know, there probably could be something there. You know, with her power maneuvers and how much pride she takes in her body, like, I don't want to say she'd be the next Beth Phoenix. I would like to see her be, you know, her own unique thing and surpass Beth Phoenix, but she could be like that kind of template, you know, just that kind of like powerhouse kind of heel.
I think my thing is she's the perfect heel for NXT right now.
She is, you know, because
I just wish she was more competent in the ring.
That's all she needs. Because, dude, here's the thing. Even her promos, while they're nothing fantastic,
she's hateable. She's so hateable. Easy to hate.
She is. Like, it makes my skin crawl thinking, wait a minute. There hasn't been a birth of the women's division until you showed up? Are you kidding me? And if she could just polish the ring work to match that, my God.
Well, that's the thing, too. That article that I sent you, the interviewer asked the four women, do you call it divas wrestling or women's wrestling? And all four of them said women. And then you've got Dana Brooke running around saying she is the total diva. It's the exact opposite of everything that the NXT crowd loves about the current women's division. And it makes her the perfect heel. She's just not a good enough actor or in-ring performer to pull it off yet.
If she could just work.
And I want to emphasize that yet. Because I mean, there's obviously potential there. Otherwise, she wouldn't be in this spot.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I'm not taking my stock out of Dana Brooke. Like, I'm staying in the fight here, just like I did with CJ Parker.
I'm not necessarily investing in her either.
No, not necessarily, but I think it's just that confidence. You know, again, we had that whole debate a couple episodes back, you know, developmental, but they're taking on the road, and they have, like, the network specials and this and that. So clearly, it's not entirely removed from developmental, but it's clearly more than just developmental. It's in a really weird place. But Dana Brooke, I mean, I'd rather she do what she's doing here, where when I don't see her on TV, I know that she's at the Performance Center getting better, working on whatever, than doing this on the main roster where I feel she's just like everybody else, more or less. Like, I want to see her break out and really become that star, because there is no better feeling when you're watching NXT than seeing that. Or when you're, like, again, watching a CJ Parker who you initially hated and he cuts a promo where he does something. He's like, you know what? There's something there. I don't think I'll ever say it about Mojo Rawley. I've kind of given up on that.
Yeah, like if the WWE was the stock market, I would have sold all of my Mojo Rawley and Bull Dempsey stock within a week or two of seeing them. Whereas with Dana Brooke, maybe I sold like half of her stock, but I'm keeping a hold of the other half, man. I believe.
I want to believe, dude, because I think everything.
Sarah Del Rey works miracles, man.
And that's going to be the ticket. Sarah needs to look at Dana Brooke and whatever. I mean, hey, it's Sarah's call. I don't know anything about wrestling, the ins and outs. She'll tell her what to work on, what not to work on, and hopefully we'll be off to the races, because it's only a matter of time before Dana Brooke gets her hands on that NXT Women's Championship. And it's not even the fact that she will probably beat Sasha Banks to do it, although that does kind of kill me a little bit inside.
No, that's the thing, though. I think it makes the most sense for her to beat Sasha, because that would be the ultimate way to turn Sasha face. Because working with any of the other 4 horsewomen would not turn Sasha full-on face, because it would always be a split crowd. But you put Sasha against Dana Brooke, and the entire crowd is in her corner big time.
Absolutely. I just hope, again, because I know every champion has to fall, so it's not even the matter of Sasha Banks losing, as much as we love her to death. I just want Dana Brooke to be ready for it. So let's hope she is, and that's all I got to say about that, so let's move on.
All right, up next, we had a recap of Baron Corbin versus Rhyno. Not really a lot to say here. They didn't actually do anything with it. So then up next, we had a Becky Lynch video package, which, again, cool stuff. Not a lot to say, though, because they didn't follow it up with anything. But then we have our second match of the night. Elias, Sampson, and Mike Rollins versus Blake and Murphy, who come out with Alexa Bliss. I love Blurfy so much.
Yeah. It's funny how divided the opinion is on Blurfy.
I know, dude. Like, there are people that, like, I just don't get what's good about these guys. I don't get you. I don't get your face.
I was waiting for it. I was like, he's going to say, well, I don't get your face. And I was going to be like, oh, shit. But then you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, how can you anything but love these guys? They're such douchebags.
Like, my only thing with Blurfy, and you know what, I have to credit the AV Club reviews that I've been reading, because AV Club has started to cover NXT, and by the way, on the Unstoppable review, they called Sasha Banks the best wrestler in the world right now. I'm just putting that out there.
You know what I love so much about Blurfy?
What's that?
It's like a couple of guys that have been best friends since high school, but now they're both dads, but they still think they're just as cool as they were in high school.
That's actually a really good way of putting it. I mean, when guys can, like, leapfrog over each other as part of their entrance and think it's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, like, they literally play leapfrog during their entrance. That is, to them, it is the coolest thing ever. But from an onlooker, it's like, these guys are posers.
And again, like, the opinion's very divided on Blurfy. I mean, that same AV Club review that gave major props to Sasha didn't have many kind things to say about Blurfy. In fact, the only criticism they levied against Blurfy that I agreed with was that Titantron, because my God, if that doesn't induce seizures, and I'm meaning that seriously, like, all the they should put, like, a disclaimer or something, or change that, because I'm genuinely...
And that's another thing, too, is Alexa Bliss now has matching attire with them, and it looks great.
Yeah, Ashton was clutch, guys. He came up with the perfect term, the color coordination of those three. Just so.
I don't think I even said coordination. I think
you
I
did.
said synchronization, didn't I?
No, you said coordination.
Oh.
And that's what made it so good. So, yeah.
Well, then.
Yeah.
Look at me doing stuff I don't even realize I'm doing.
I know, right? You're so awesome. But, yeah, this match, I mean, I'm surprised Mike Rollins and Elias Sampson got as much offense as they did.
That Elias Sampson has a good look, man. He's going to be the next guy to get Aiden Englished, where he goes from being a jobber to getting a gimmick and being a star.
Wasn't it Sampson that got the hot tag, and he got that form at one point that looked pretty cool? I'm like, damn.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's next in that line. Like, the first one was Aiden English, and then it was Wesley Blake, who is now a member of Blurfy. I'm telling you, Elias Sampson, watch out for him. Pay attention to that name.
Absolutely, but unfortunately it didn't take long for his hot tag to cool down.
Wow, you are the corniest. That was so good.
I know, but ultimately Blurfy does take control of the running vertical suplex into the frog splash from Blake.
Let's just say the hot tag got tempered.
Oh, snap. And yeah, the NXT Tag Team Champions win. And they're posing. And then I love what they do post-match, though, because then the champions, they drag Sampson to the corner. And Alexa Bliss nails the Sparkle Splash off the top rope.
How cool was this, though?
And then, you know what, it was weird
You
because...
want to talk about freaking chivalry, man. Let me tell you something, brother. These guys did their job. The match is over, but you know what? They want to make their valet look strong, too, so they beat this guy up a little more, drag him over to the corner, and let her do her finisher. For no reason whatsoever, just to be douches.
Absolutely, and I love before
so
that, too.
Good.
Yeah, I love before that, too. I think it was Blake that kicked Mike Rollins in the hand, and Rich Brennan was like, was that really necessary? And I'm like, shut up, Brennan. This isn't about you. So, yeah, you know what? I mean, with the whole divide, the whole debate, is Blurfy good? Aren't they good? I say they're good.
There is no debate. If you think that they aren't, you're wrong.
I love it. TWitWoW, where the only opinion that matters is ours.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the people that think that Blake and Murphy aren't good are the same people that don't realize that Sasha's better than Charlotte.
Oh, man. And for those of you that say, well, that's not really promoting equality, to quote my good friend Abel, equality is for marks. So,
Did Abel really say that?
yeah, he did.
That's amazing.
I freaking loved him for it, so we love you, bro. Way to be clutch. But, yeah, with that
That
said...
sounded like something that one of us would say. We've been hanging out with him too much. We're destroying him.
That poor man. I almost wish Kevin Owens would say that in a promo. I would die.
Oh my god. Sympathy. Sympathy is for marks. Are you alive?
Just barely.
Okay, let's move on though, because up next, Devin Taylor talked with Alexa Bliss. And as if Blake and Murphy weren't douchey enough, Alexa Bliss cuts one of the best heel promos I've ever seen a female cut in my entire life.
You know what that promo did for me, Ashton, and it feels so good.
Vindicated you because we've been saying she'll be better as a heel for months now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was total validation. Because she said...
Even her facial expressions are natural heel.
I know, right? Like, she has, like, kind of like this scowl about her or something.
She's so condescending.
You know what? It's so funny, dude. And honestly...
Devin Taylor is just like, what happened that made this relationship a thing? And Alexa Bliss was like, that is such a good question, Devin. Did you learn that at journalism school?
Unbelievable. And you know what? I've really gotta make an apology with our big discussion in the prior segment with like Dana Brooke, Emma, Bayley, and Charlotte, because we're talking about heels that could face Sasha Banks. Now that Alexa Bliss has aligned with Blurfy, who's to say that she couldn't be a contender again and really go at it with Sasha again, you know?
That would be such a great next opponent for Sasha.
Definitely. Well, because, I mean, Alexa can even make the excuse, look, I didn't beat you last time because I was too concerned about, you know, being in front of, you know, people and making them love me and cheer for me, but now I'm with actual winners. And I love that line, too. Like, you know what I realized, and it's kind of horrifying? Some of the things Alexa Bliss said here, I'm like, oh my god, I say those things when I'm trying to be a douche. So literally, like, I'm the male version of Alexa Bliss.
I think it's more like Alexa Bliss is just the female version of you.
Yeah, because I'm clearly the inspiration here, obviously.
Well, I mean, you were the first, of course.
Yeah, so you have Alexa Bliss that says, look, Blake and Murphy, they're winners. I'm a winner. Winners tend to gravitate towards each other, and I'm like, holy sweet mother of God, it's me. Like, I've arrived on a wrestling product.
I have never heard a woman in wrestling cut a more condescending, just scathingly heel promo than Alexa Bliss, without directly, like, personally attacking someone else, like calling them ugly, or in Paige's case a man, or in Naomi's case, you know, not athletic, or just stupid little personal attacks like that. No, Alexa Bliss cut this entire promo only referring to herself, and then she turns it around, and rather than saying Carmella's ugly or stupid, she says that Staten Island is a garbage dump, and that she's gonna send Carmella back to the garbage dump that she came from.
Which was great, because she mentioned how Carmella's nickname is the Princess of Staten Island, so way to go, Carmella,
that was kind of
Exactly. Congratulations, you're the princess of garbage. So, seeing Alexa Bliss be this catty,
she's so good.
It works, and it's so good for us to be right yet again. Oh my god.
That's so great too, because literally the first time we saw her cut a promo, instantly we were like, oh my god, she's gonna be such a good heel.
Yeah, we knew it, dude. I immediately got by, because you were like, oh, she goes for pins so frequently, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling it as a babyface, and now seeing her as a heel, like, I can honestly say for the first time, and it's not like I hated Alexa Bliss before, right?
Right, but now we're actually into her.
I'm into her, and I can't wait for her match next week against Carmella.
Oh,
so,
yes.
That's freaking awesome. So with that, I have nothing else to say. We can move on if you want.
Dude, the NXT machine works at it again. They produced another miracle. They took another person that we didn't care about and made us love her.
I know.
That's why I haven't lost hope for Dana Brooke.
You can do it, Dana.
But seriously though, Bull Dempsey and Mojo, they're done.
Yeah, it was all your fault, guys. You're just failures. You weren't meant to do this. So, yeah.
Oh my god. What if they listen to this?
Look, I still have to be the top heel, okay? I'm not comfortable with Alexa Bliss encroaching on my turf, stealing my wines.
Look, man, the last three heels are the heels. We could be the baby faces.
I at least want to be tweener at best.
Okay, fine. You could be the tweener.
Yes!
This is such a small victory, and you're so happy about it. Up next...
Story of my life.
Up next, we got Ty Dillinger finally making his triumphant return. It has been too long since the last time we saw his greatness, and he's back to face Finn Balor.
The greatest... No, wait, hold on. Let me redact that. One of the greatest joys I have doing TWitWoW now has become just your marking out for Ty Dillinger. Because, like, it is just the greatest thing to just, like, watch. It's like its own specimen. And I loved when you were like, oh, that's it, Ty. Look at him getting offense. You were literally like, look at Ty Dillinger getting offense.
Look, man, Ty Dillinger is so awesome that he literally broke the video that I was watching on my phone.
He used to be Gavin Spears.
He is the crown jewel. What can I say?
Oh my god. And then I love, though, because here's the hilarious part. Like, I used to joke about being a huge Gavin Spears fan, and you were like, who the hell is Gavin Spears? And then we make the connection, and now you're the huge Ty Dillinger fan, only this time it's with actual sincerity.
Wait, you mean your Gavin Spears fandom wasn't a sincere fandom?
No, I was just kind of being an asshole, though his promos were kind of hilarious when he would refer to himself as a crown jewel and then go on to job.
Well, excuse me, I thought he was correct.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
He's also got a perfect 10 gimmick that he's been working at house shows. I really hope that shows up on these NXT tapings.
And dialing it back a bit and being serious and actually having a serious conversation with you, I do too. Because that's what NXT is all about. Like, if anybody watched the E60 special, which, again, I'm so glad Ash and you and I went back and we watched it together from beginning to end, you know they just keep going to the drawing board until they get it right. And I don't know how old Ty Dillinger is.
The crazy thing is, when you have so much right, you can only push so much at a time.
You can.
I mean, Ty Dillinger is the talent of our generation, and he's not even in the main event right now.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, that I admit that was hyperbole. But
no,
everything else I've said was totally legit.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like, this isn't even me. Like, again, I'm putting aside being contentious for contentious sake, because I just feel like it's wonderful that you're such a big Ty Dillinger fan. But I do hope we see that gimmick, get to do something. Because here's the thing. And we're going to get to him a bit later. We know Jason Jordan's going to do something, right?
We're going to get to him next, actually, once we finish talking about this Ty Dillinger match. That's right, it's a Ty Dillinger match, not a Finn Balor match.
But I don't want... I got to really keep myself together, and you're making it so hard. But,
that's what she said.
Oh, wow. Really? Really?
Continue.
I don't want Ty Dillinger left out in the cold. I don't. So, if this gimmick works out at live events, have you read what the reception's been? Have people been positive, or you really don't know?
I have no clue.
You have no clue? Well, hopefully it's been
It doesn't matter,
out.
Though, because if he gets a gimmick that doesn't suck, he's going to be the next great star.
And you know what? I'm not even going to contend that. I'm going to say, you know what? I agree with you, because he does have a good look. He does have a good look.
This is the same way that I used to feel about Justin Gabriel, and that didn't really work out so well.
And it didn't. It didn't, but here's the thing, like, and I can't believe I'm about to use these words, because I feel like a litany of references can come up. It is a new day. You know, because this is freaking NXT, and anything can happen. Ty Dillinger today could be having these matches with Finn Balor where, yeah, he gets offense, but you know what the outcome is. He's going to lose to Finn Balor. Where he could go, get a gimmick, maybe hook up with a new tag team partner that's not going to abandon him mid-match when they're trying.
Jason Jordan, you scumbag.
And go after. I love it, people.
He had it under control, man. He didn't need to tag out.
Oh my God. And they go for the NXT tag team titles, and they may win. Or
I love how you're talking faster now to avoid laughter.
I am. Well, it's the only way. And I don't want to get too hyperbolic here, but we could even see him as a contender for the NXT World title, depending on how the picture thins out, you know, when Zayn and Owens and all them go up to the main roster. Because I'm sorry, until that day comes.
Sorry. All I can hear is when all the talented people leave, maybe then Ty Dillinger can get a scrap.
Oh my God, listen to you.
I am not bitter, okay?
I can't do this much longer. I just really hope that the gimmick does something, because again, we know Jason Jordan's going to do something, and Ty Dillinger does have this charisma.
No, you know what? I have made it my new goal in life. I want to live to see the day that Ty Dillinger becomes a bigger star than Jason Jordan.
Oh my God. You know what, though? Here's the thing, dude, and here's the honest truth, right? And this is me being serious. You're not even going to have to live that long. It probably is going to happen.
Yeah,
because as much
exactly.
as
That's kind of my point.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about you right now.
I usually don't make baseless claims, and this claim is not baseless, I promise.
But, you know, like, as much as I love, like, the amateur wrestling types and this and that, they've never really translated well in wrestling. I mean, you can't even use Jack Swagger as an example.
Kurt Angle is a thing.
Kurt Angle was an anomaly because he had the personality to go with it.
Yeah, plus he had the Olympic thing.
When your gimmick
Which apparently Chad Gable also has.
And you know what? And we're going to get to Chad Gable because, honestly, I feel like he's going to easily surpass Jason Jordan if you want the truth. Like, wow. Jason Jordan, here's my thing. The more I see him, like, by himself and cutting these serious – it's not going to work. This guy, I don't really know if – I'm not going to say he's going to fail because maybe he'll prove me wrong. But I feel like in comparison to everyone else, like in an aggregate, the Jason Jordan –
Let's get the elephant out of the room right now, right away. The first guy that everyone's going to compare Jason Jordan to is Shelton Benjamin, and he's nowhere close to as good as him.
Yeah. Shelton Benjamin was insanity. Okay?
Jason Jordan doesn't have the personality or the charisma, both of which were considered weaknesses for Benjamin, and he's not in the same league as Shelton and Benjamin athletically.
Right, and that was his saving grace, was Benjamin.
And I'm assuming that even though he is a relatively well-celebrated college amateur wrestler, I kind of doubt he has quite as much, quite as much credibility as Shelton.
Yeah, but you know who does have all those things? Ty Dillinger.
That's
and
right.
Potentially Chad Gable.
I don't know.
But see, like Chad Gable, I'm keeping an eye on too. But here's the thing with Ty Dillinger.
But Chad Gable's kind of goofy looking. Ty Dillinger has the look.
He does have the look, but here's the thing. Kurt Angle had his really goofy comical moments too. Like, I think the one comparison I heard about Kurt Angle back then when it's really silly babyface moments, he was like a Carlton Banks for a lot of people. Like, just that guy, that odd guy out in the room. He'd be with all the cool people, and he would be like, oh, that's great. What are we all talking about? And just conversation would kind of die down and be like, oh, it's Kurt. How you doing, Kurt? And, it'd just be whatever. But he was insanely talented. Yeah. Chad Gable, I kind of get that vibe. But it's not about him. And I'm sure Ash knows.
It's about Ty Dillinger. That's right.
Yes, it's about it. That's right. Look at him, all authoritative. But there's not really much to say about Ty Dillinger except the back of his head can really eat a turnbuckle well.
Hey, man. Hey. Don't even act like he did not get offense.
He did get offense.
He beat the crap out of Balor for like a good 45 seconds of this match.
Dude, I think the only reason I'm rooting for Ty Dillinger to even have a modicum of success, I can't wait to do the NXT review where that happens. Because
I am going to be on Cloud 9, my friend.
But, I mean, Finn Balor's on Cloud 9 right now because he did get the win. Coup de grace.
They keep putting him in these so-called squash matches. He's going to keep getting more and more offense. He's going to win one of them. You watch. Ty Dillinger is going to pin Kevin. I can't.
You can't. That's the one sentence. That's the one sentence you can't do. I freaking love it.
No, but seriously though, he is going to pin. I don't know. Maybe he'll pin Jason Jordan one day.
Tyler Breeze. I could see him pinning Tyler Breeze.
Oh, for sure.
If he gets a babyface gimmick but Perfect 10 sounds so heelish, and that's a shame because
I was going to say, why would he need a babyface gimmick when Tyler Breeze is in the midst of literally turning babyface?
That is true, but then again, Jason Jordan's still coming off as such a douche, and you have to imagine Ty Dillinger's not going to let that stand. So, I don't know. I really don't know.
Hey, man, we're not talking about the next month. We're talking about sometime in the future.
That's true.
Let's stop talking about Ty Dillinger now.
Yeah, I said all I need to say, so let's move on.
Greg, this guy, asks Jason Jordan what the future is for him, and he says that he's got a perfect partner, but he does get interrupted by the guy that we were talking about earlier, Chad Gable, who says, my cauliflower ears hear someone talking about a perfect partner. You must be talking about me. And, I mean, obviously, Jason Jordan probably doesn't even know who Chad Gable is.
Right, but I mean, he has towels, though, so...
Does, with his name on it.
With his name on it. I mean, holy shit.
I mean,
like, if that doesn't tell you that he's arrived, I don't know what does.
How do you turn that down?
I don't. You don't.
Ladies.
Yeah, ladies, how do you turn that down? That's our question to you. But Jason Jordan, he gets given a towel by Chad Gable. Was like, I got a ton of these. Why don't you hold on to this one? And Jason Jordan pretty much wipes his face and body off with it.
Good. Mean and so green.
And that's why, like, Chad Gable, to me, has that awkwardness about him and stuff like that. Maybe it's a bit much, because I feel like Kurt Angle wasn't even that excessive. At times, there were some scenarios where, like, yeah, it's over the top, but even then...
Oh, yeah, like the party hat.
Yeah, the party hat, or doing the guitar with Stone Cold at one point. Like, but they always seemed appropriate, though, right? Like, it never really felt, like, disjointed or uncomfortable. Chad Gable, if they can have, like, a similar thing there, because I still remember his debut matchup. We could have a real commodity there with Chad Gable. He's the one I'm really rooting for out of everybody. I feel like he could be something, and I hope I'm right.
That's awesome. That's crazy awesome that you've got somebody who's so lesser known that you're really behind. Like, that's kind of how I feel with Ty Dillinger, honestly.
Right, so, like, you got Ty Dillinger, I've got Chad Gable. I want to see them both race to the top in different ways. Let's make it happen, NXT. I mean, let's make 2 more miracles. I mean, you did it, so many times before. Let's get it done. All
right, next we had our main event. Kevin Owens murdering a man.
We pretty much just call this match Solomon Crowe tried. Because...
He did.
Really.
He tried so hard, John.
Dude, I mean, guys, look. Here's the thing, right? Everybody knows that I am a fan of Solomon Crowe from his indie days, Force 1 and Sami Callihan. What's so hilarious about that? In Force 1, Sami Callihan was the top dog around there. He was a shark there. He's not even a minnow here when Kevin Owens is a thing. There was a point in this match that all Kevin Owens had to do was a back elbow, and Solomon Crowe does a 180.
He sold it like death.
He sold it like death. In this house, Solomon Crowe, he's not even a tenant. He's just the guy waiting outside the door looking for shelter, looking for a vacancy, something. Because as long as Kevin Owens is here, he decides who stays and who goes, with the exception of maybe one man who we'll get to in a second. But when we're talking about Solomon Crowe, no chance. Although I will credit NXT, they made it seem like he was given a fight, because he got, like, right hands, he got a nice knee in the corner. I think he put up more of a fight here, honestly, than he did against Baron Corbin. But...
yeah.
In the end, it wasn't enough, and Kevin Owens knew it. He was toying around with it. And see, that's the funny thing. For as much as I credit Solomon Crowe, maybe we should be crediting Kevin Owens that much more, because, dude, there was one point in this match that all he did was just throw Solomon Crowe out of the ring and wait.
Yep.
Like, that tells me that any time that Kevin Owens wanted to end this match, he could have.
Yep.
And he just chose not to. And then he finally does with the pop-up powerbomb. 3 count. Goes to do it again on the apron, but then we get Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
The only guy that I think can really stand up to Kevin Owens at this point. But the crazy thing is, I'm not even saying that definitively. That's just how dominant Kevin Owens is. And the moment Samoa Joe gets in the ring, Kevin Owens immediately leaves. I was hoping he'd stomp on Solomon Crowe on the way out, but he just walks up the ramp, points at Solomon Crowe and says, next time that's going to be you. I'm giving you a chance to walk out and have that not be you, but next time that's going to be you. When earlier in the night he called him out and said, if he does that to me again, if he comes in my ring again, I'm pretty much going to end him. Well, Samoa Joe apparently gets to see another day because Kevin Owens chooses to do this on his terms. I gotta say, the only thing I really don't like about Joe, I'm still not crazy about the theme music, honestly. But everything else, the shirt's already sold out, apparently. Shirt's selling like hotcakes, so that's great. Keeping the Samoa Joe name, that's probably going to help with marketing. And, apparently he's got a really sweet deal. So I'm just happy for Samoa Joe. Things really seem to be clicking for him right now.
You know what's kind of hilarious to think about?
What's that?
Samoa Joe is going to be wrestling on ROH on Destination America.
Yeah. How crazy is that, dude?
You know what else is kind of crazy to think about? The fact that Samoa Joe is working a deal with WWE while he's still working indie dates in ROH and like other companies.
WWE has openly credited ROH for a lot of time. I mean, Triple H in that conference call you were giving me highlights about, he name dropped ROH. Like, I don't know if they've got like some kind of existent relationship or if it's just like a mutual respect kind of thing or whatever it is.
I don't know if it's an agreed upon relationship, but at the end of the day, ROH is literally NXT's talent farm.
I know. How crazy is that? Holy shit. And, on that same note, if we could just get Adam Cole to be called up, that'd be great.
You mean Brock Vaughn?
Brock freaking Vaughn. Brock versus Brock, WrestleMania 34. Book it!
Oh, yes. The internet would literally, like 80% of internet wrestling fans would die of dehydration from excessive ejaculation.
Look, I would do all of that exploding of every kind of nature for the internet. Like, nobody even has to worry. Like, I have it taken care of for everybody. So, it's cool.
Reunite Mount Rushmore in WWE.
Oh, my God. But, bringing it back, I'm loving how they're handling Samoa Joe. Again, when the worst thing I could say about a guy is his theme music, which, how do you feel about it?
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. The theme music's terrible.
It just doesn't seem to match how imposing and intimidating he is. At all. Like, honestly, and this is the truth, guys. I don't know why, but I thought when that music hit, I don't know why, but my mind went to Ooh-Ha Nation for whatever reason.
Well, because the freaking intro is ooh-ha, ooh-ha, ooh-ha.
And yeah, maybe that's it. I'm like, oh my God, Ooh-Ha Nation. But it just doesn't.
We literally both said that in the live reactions.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
We both said, oh my God, I thought that this was going to be Samoa Joe, but it sounds like Ooh-Ha Nation, and then it was Joe. We're like, what?
Yeah, it just doesn't fit. So if they can, change his music up again,
that'd be great.
Anything you want to say about this segment, or can we move on to our next?
Move on, dude.
Segment?
Move on.
All right, high spots and low shots. You know what? My low shot is going to be Elias Sampson because he eats the pin and then he eats a sparkle splash. So yeah, you tried forming a tag team, and
no, I thought it was Mike Rollins that ate the sparkle splash.
Was it Mike Rollins?
I think so.
Then, yeah, Mike Rollins, you're my low spot then.
But he didn't eat the pin.
Well, he still had a sucky night for him, because he tried checking on his partner.
Don't make me pick between the two best low shot contenders.
Fine. My low shot then will be Solomon Crowe.
Thank you.
Tried talking smack and he got put in his place. And that wasn't a test. That's your everlasting reality. So get used to it.
You're so right. But no, my low shot is Bayley, because she thought she was getting to climb up to the top of the card, and then she just tapped out to Emma.
I'd love to make my high spot Ty Dillinger, because we devoted a lot of time talking about him this episode.
He'll be my high spot. Just kidding.
But my high spot, again, I gotta make it Samoa Joe.
Oh, wow. What?
Look,
I thought we were going to have a co-high spot tonight.
No, I'll tell you, dude, Samoa Joe, all he does is show up, and he whips the people into a frenzy. Again, his shirt already sold out. Like, already him being on NXT is paying dividends for him.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be a good time to be him. And I know, like, there was one time I think you made a low shot, like, both in a kayfabe sense and in a non-kayfabe sense. Well, I'm doing the same thing with my high spot. Joe, in a non-kayfabe sense, is kind of having an AJ Styles moment where everybody seems to want him, and he's finally getting success again and relevance again. No offense to him, it's all on TNA.
Don't you love it how as soon as someone gets out of TNA, they instantly become 1 billion times more successful than they ever were with that company?
That's why I'm kind of rooting for MVP to get out of there. Promoters!
He's already had far more success than he's ever going to see again in TNA.
Yeah, that's so true, dude. That's so true. But yeah, so in the non-kayfabe sense, it's almost like...
I was thinking more along the lines of Austin Aries, to be honest.
Yeah, really? Yeah, he's next. Come on, Austin. You know better. I feel like the ship has sailed for the Bobby Roodes of the world because he's just too old at this point, I think. But
I think Aries is only like 3 years younger than Rude.
Maybe. I mean, hey, there's still hope, I think, for the Aries. So in the non-kayfabe...
spring chicken as far as WWE goes.
Yeah, that's true. But in a non-kayfabe sense, I feel like Joe's undergone kind of a career revival. In a kayfabe sense, he's sent Kevin Owens running twice now. So he's in the champion's head when the champion's juggling all these feuds. Samoa Joe may be the guy to do it, to take that NXT title off Kevin Owens, and you know what? I think it would look good with the Samoan submission machine, so we'll see what he does.
Well, say what you want about Joe. At the end of the day, Kevin Owens is the man that they're revolving this entire show around, and for that, he is my high spot. He is absolutely dominating everyone they put in front of him, even the guy that everyone thought was finally going to be able to get the job done in Sami Zayn. It just did not happen. So yeah, Kevin Owens is a god right now amongst men.
He is. I mean, when you have so many programs, both main roster and NXT, revolving around one man, and you're billing the Elimination Chamber as champion versus champion, like he's going into that match as the NXT champion. And how many times did I say in the past, Ashton, how great I felt like it would be if they cross-promoted having an NXT guy versus a WWE guy, and the first guy to step up and do it is Kevin freaking Owens.
Yep.
You know, like, that high spot, out of all the high spots we've done for all 300 episodes, right, that one's got to be the most indisputable, because I don't think you could raise any case against that whatsoever. Like,
other than the fact that he got chased out of the ring by Joe.
And that's just it. And here's the thing, like, that's it. And he walked out on his own power. It wasn't a beatdown. It was all by Kevin Owens' own will, and for that, the guys...
It wasn't even necessarily due to intimidation. It was just because Kevin Owens really hates fighting other people on their terms.
Exactly. He doesn't get paid by the hour. Like, he's a far more athletic and vicious Kevin Nash. Like, he does things on his terms. That's all it's about.
He's literally the new Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. Like I said, the parallels are clear as day, my man.
I think you had the perfect comparison. He is Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman combined.
Yeah.
Because he's the dominance and just unstoppable fury and anger and destruction that is Brock Lesnar, but he's the absolutely intolerable douchey smarminess and intelligence that comes with Paul Heyman.
I feel like the term total package gets abused so much, even by me, and that's why
Lex Luger, brother.
But I feel like Kevin Owens is it.
Yep.
You know? Like, he doesn't need a mouthpiece, and he's so freaking dominant. Like, when I can actually have the visual in my head of him pop-up powerbombing Brock freaking Lesnar, you know I'm buying into you.
Kevin Owens is the type of guy that would have been main eventing WrestleManias in the late 80s if he was in the business.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And he's even better in 2015. Like, just to put it in perspective, like, he is a guy who is such a good heel that he transcends generations.
Exactly. That I'm not even touching that. We can close out unless there's anything else you want to say about NXT.
No.
All right, guys. With that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. What was the highlight for you of NXT this week? What do you think about Kevin Owens being invested in so much with all these, different programs going on at once? Do you think he can carry the load? Do you feel like he's unstoppable? Be sure to take the conversation over to Tweetoff, an amazing pro wrestling group. We all love Kevin Owens there, too. We all love that pop-up powerbomb, trust me, so you can take the conversation there. Or, if you like the more, intimate conversations, if you want to keep it more personable to myself and my cohort and commentary, don't worry, because as clutch as he is, Ashton's got it taken care of. He made a TWitWoW subreddit. Love reading the feedback on there, so know you can converse with either one of us on any subject. Create a thread, comment on an existing one, do what you want, go nuts, because it's all about that conversation. As I always say, talk to us, talk to us, talk to us. And guys, we're going to finish out this week strong, because Saturday we have Elimination Chamber preview and predictions. You're going to get mine and Ashton's thoughts on all the matches on the card, and then you're going to see it all play out Sunday for Elimination Chamber live reactions. And when with two matches in the Elimination Chamber, especially one the first ever tag team titles, I'm guaranteeing, I bet you some of those reactions are going to be very memorable. So it's going to be can't miss content coming from TWitWoW to finish out, the week. And we're still rolling on, guys, and we love that you're taking the ride with us. So with that said, tune in. Peace out.